live from the Safe Cafe. Hi, I'm David Lasoff. I'm your host. Welcome to the Safe Cafe. Welcome to the Safe Cafe. I'm David Lasoff. I'm your host. Just in case we're just coming on right now, I got to get used to seeing the live button come on. This is for real, man. We're doing this live from the Startup Nation in Israel, and also with Chadrick Mahaffey. Hey, Chadrick.
Hey.
Chadrick from Michigan in the United States, and Tim Coomber. Hi, Tim.
Hello.
Tim is originally from London, but he lives in Scotland, right up the road. What's the name of that town? Gurrock?
Yeah, Gurrock, my friend. Gurrock.
Gurrock, right up the road from Troon. Well, you'll have to go down and bother David and Nick and Prakash and Viv and all those guys. If any of you guys down there are listening, make sure you lock the front door. Tim's coming.
Go down and play on some music.
So this is history, folks, from 3 places in the world. This whole interactive, hopefully fun and interesting Safe Cafe is being born. We think that I believe that the social aspect of developing the Safe network is part of what's going to make it a great success, and there's no doubt that it will be that. It's just that sometimes I have to pinch myself that I'm really here doing what I'm doing, but get your head around that, folks. We really are here doing what we're doing, and it's going to be an amazing journey.
Are you vaping, Tim?
What?
Are you vaping? Oh no, you got a pen.
No, pen, man. I'm an artist.
Right. I was hoping I found a fellow vapor as well. So. All right.
What's a vapor, Chadrick?
Well, it's nicotine without the carcinogenics. There you go.
I got you. Okay, cool. Yeah. I just thought, like, tonight or tomorrow or today, depending on where we are in the world, we would get together and just start talking about what got us here. And I know, Chadrick, you got some things that you want to say about that.
Yeah, but you know what? I can start if you want.
No, you can but whatever.
So yeah, I guess I'll tell you a little bit about how I heard about MadeSafe and why I got super excited about it. So I was on the liberty.me. It's a libertarian social network.
Oh, wait.
Go ahead.
Wait. I just want to talk to our friends who are signing in now. There's a place for you to write your questions or your comments or anything you want to write us, like on the right-hand side. So feel free to do that, and we'll try to answer those questions. Go ahead, Chadrick. Sorry to interrupt you.
We'll try to answer them.
Yeah, try.
You said it was lowbrow, right? So we're good.
Not lowbrow. No.
Medium brow. Okay.
We want medium brow. Medium brow.
All right. So yeah, I found out about MadeSafe through that liberty.me social network. And I don't remember what post it was. I have no idea. I just remember seeing it, and I thought, you know what, cryptocurrencies. There's all these cryptocurrencies out there, and I saw SafeCoin, and I didn't think much of it. And then when I started reading through the post a little bit more, and when I saw the concept of proof of resource, it caught my attention. And because I've always thought that the whole idea of mining was a huge waste, and when I saw that proof of resource, I thought, holy cow, this is this is awesome if it's real. And so that led me into my 2-day journey of just reading and researching, and I think it was 2 days before I jumped on madesafe.org, and I started I wanted to find out what's going on with this safe coin, and can I get any, and what's this all about. What really caught my attention, what basically captured me. There's the first paragraph under the on the dev page, underneath the graph of the different layers in the dev pieces. I actually want to read this because I think it's huge. It says, by introducing the Safe Network's very own cryptocurrency, SafeCoin, developers now finally have an open source business model that works. By coding your Safe Wallet ID into your applications, the network will automatically pay SafeCoins to you based on how much the application is utilized by end users. No longer will app developers need to morph themselves into support experts or advertising resellers. You can now focus on making great applications with revenue stream already built in. Once I read that,
Ow!
Boom! It was like my gears started turning. Go ahead. I'll jump back to that. But
no, I know. Listen, I think that's what got me too. When I saw that, my jaw dropped, and I thought, okay, now this can work. I wasn't impressed with the blockchain either. I'm not very critical of it because I see it as an important milestone in the development of where we are today, and I think it will be shown that that's the case. But I'm not ashamed to say I've never bought an altcoin. I don't even own MadeSafe coin yet. I haven't avoided it. I just haven't bought it yet, and I probably will very soon because it's so cheap and it's going to be worth so much. So, but yeah, I saw it as completely. The blockchain was completely this inefficient thing, and plus what you just said, that now there was a way to just build killer apps, and if they really were great apps, the gets would provide an income. I don't know if any of you are seeing this. Am I the only one who's seeing these questions?
Yeah, I can't see anything.
Okay. Hey, big shout out to Francis Brunel from Montreal, who heads up our Safe Pod, the new Safe Pod in Montreal. Hi, Francis. He's not in Montreal. He is in Roatan, Honduras, with his father.
Whoa!
Listening
I gotta
live.
look that up on the map.
Hola, ¿cómo estás?
He is in Honduras listening to us. Francis, thanks for stopping by. You'll have to be on one of these days, okay? So I want to get to know you, and I want to get to know all the people who are we should get to know everybody who is a pioneer and earliest adopter of the Safe Network.
Definitely. I mean, for me, I'm not really coming it from. I've kind of spoken to the world. That's what I know. I don't really know David that well, and I've only met Chadrick tonight, so it's all very kind of new as we are in this emergent new world. Now, I'm not really into coding. I know David has great quote that David always says, he couldn't code his way out of a paper bag. Neither could I. I'm coming from a different angle, from someone who's from the creative side. And I'm old enough to remember the internet being originally formed and thinking, as from where I've come from, which has been a stance of anarchy, I suppose, from a long time, of thinking the internet was going to give me what I wanted. And I watched it just get destroyed and destroyed and destroyed. And do you know what it was? It was laziness. And I come to it from that because it's been a long time. I've watched it go for 22 years. It's just fall down the toilet. And when I heard about this through Twitter, through the age of where we are, the convergence of technology, I was blown away by it because It is a solution, and for the first time in my lifetime, I can say to people, there is a solution. There isn't one formed on beliefs that then form isms and this, that, and the other. This is logic. This is what
Right.
a lot of people for a long time have been waiting for. This is the moment. I don't want to go on too much, but this is the moment.
No, preach it.
You know, this is the Henry T. Ford moment, and looking back at the people with Stagecoach and going, your days are done, my man. This is the future, and we can say to people quite confidently, there is a way of getting across from A to B without going through trains. You know, we stand at this future.
That's right. I couldn't agree more. And there was I'm Warren. I don't know where you're from, but if you could text in and just give us a general area if you feel like it, like what country.
What time
You don't have to pinpoint locations, okay? I'm not working for anybody.
We want latitude and longitude.
Yeah. Exact GPS locations, please. No, kidding. Yeah. So, and the thing that was really cool is that we're already thinking of things to do, and realize that there are many different skill sets that can contribute to building the safe network.
Amen.
And yes. Okay, Francis wants to be on the next time. Okay, Francis, you got it. You're going to get an invite. And I see another hi coming in from somebody with, I can't read Chinese.
Oh.
It's somebody with a Chinese writing, Chinese name. Hi. If there is a English transliteration of that, I would like to say hello to you. And that's about it. There's 5 of us. I think Warren went somewhere. So we know there's Francis and somebody else and us 3. Right now it shows 5 viewers. Yeah. So I actually don't have huge expectations for where where we are right now. This is the very beginning. I have long-range huge expectations, but now is the season for pioneers and earliest adopters, and we have to realize. Somebody else has said hi, but I don't see any other name next to that hi person with Chinese characters for your name. That's okay. We had on our first broadcast a woman who had never heard of MaidSafe. David Yamanaka from New Mexico just
Awesome.
showed up. Hello, David. David, we want you to come on. Also, there's Jacob from Montreal. The pod. Great. And here is the person who I was referring to, whose characters show up in Chinese. His name is Frank. Hi, Frank. David writes, David from New Mexico, USA, MaidSafe.org talked about deduplication to save hard drive space for many blockchain users. I think the use cases go way beyond that. Chadrick, you're the coder in the group. You want to take that?
I was on that same forum, that same thread, and I just had questions myself. Would deduplication handle that? And according to the consensus that I was reading, yeah, it will. So now beyond that, I can't give anything more. But it's exciting.
Well, I wasn't in the thread, but correct me if I'm wrong. Am I talking about the same thing when I say that the network limits copies to 4, and then it, for time usage, let's just put it that way, it will opportunistically cache multiple copies across nodes, and then those go away. I don't know.
That's how I understand it. I wish we had one of these guys on here that that was really a quitter.
Okay, so you're okay. Hey, Russell August Anderson. Hello, Russell. Glad to shout out to you. I've seen you on the MadeSafe.org. Russell, as it is writing, he's from LA. So am I, Russell. Nice to meet you, man. I mean, nice.
Hey, Russell,
nice
I really like your idea. Or I like that you jumped on that thing about doing the documentary. I hope we do something with that. I hope the community does. I think that would be awesome.
Yeah, I agree. I think that, wow. I mean, I originally got interested in doing what I'm doing. I mean, what I'm doing is morphed quite a bit. When I first started, I thought I would be something like a reporter and tell the story of MadeSafe. But then everything morphed into how it's going. And I realized that that wasn't what I wanted to be or what I wanted to do. I wanted to evangelize for MadeSafe. I wanted to know the story and learn the story, but I wasn't going to be the guy that was going to, be the one that made the story. So, Russell, make the story, man, and whoever else. It's a great idea.
I think this is essential. I mean, I don't want this just to end up. I mean, speak to me. I'm the average man. I'm the stupid man. I'm the monkey of the group. I mean, I think we need to put this out to people because it's. I think a lot of our world is we are ahead. We're the emergers. We're the pioneers. But we have to bear in mind that people behind us. I know people that don't even know what Bitcoin is. They're in that world. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So anything we can do, like you said, is documenting this now is going to be valuable for future people that have to come along where we are now. Because,
right.
We don't know. I mean, we don't know. Any of us could be hit by a car, and then that knowledge is gone. We need to. I think that's a great idea, documenting it, because in a simple way, for the monkeys of the brain like me who can understand it.
Yeah, well, I don't think you're a monkey because
I think you're right, but you know what I'm saying.
You're living proof. You're living proof that, and so am I, by the way. If you're a monkey, that I'm an orangutan.
Monkeys, man.
Right. But what I mean is that you're living proof. I'm living proof, and there are others too that are on that even on MadeSafe.org's forum, and other people that have contacted me and written to me that are not technical people, and they get it. They get it from a freedom standpoint. They get it from a privacy standpoint. They understand that they get it, man. I'm telling you, it's like when we talk about the 99% revolution, it's unstoppable because it's based in reality that there is this pent-up demand for freedom. There's this pent-up demand for security, and there's pent-up demand, especially I'm noticing, for privacy. People are tired of people nosing into their business. Now, the caveat on that is a sad caveat to me. I agree. We're going to need to educate people because there's a younger generation that's been born without any expectation of privacy in their lives, as far as I can tell. And they think it's normal that they don't get to have it. I was listening to a video yesterday by somebody probably in their 30s, the way they were talking about how new technology was going to be, the Internet of Things, and we're going to be able to go into our bathroom and this was like a virtuous thing to this person. We'll be able to go into our bathroom, step on the scale, and that information was going to be sent to the cloud, to our medical records, and our doctors would then instantaneously be able to know how fat we are. I mean, there was no concept in this person's brain about how ludicrously the violation of that person. Why would people? I don't know. Maybe there's something wrong with me. I mean, why would you want to do something like that?
Let me jump in here just for a second, David, because I think if I'm sure that it's just between me and my doctor, and he needs to know some of this information, then I'm cool with it. But if it's not just between me and him, and it can't be right now, then I'm not cool with it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah, well, that's the thing. If it gets uploaded to the cloud, it's on a third-party server. It's not private. No, I get it.
Yep.
I understand the idea that a doctor needs to know about you, and but doctors are bound by an ethic of confidentiality, and but the cloud isn't. It's just
That's right.
it's all public. And I think the values of made safe, privacy, security, and freedom is what really got me. And I said, I've been looking for this my whole life, and bam, I knew I wanted to be a part of that. I want to know what you guys are talking heads on this program. I want to know what you guys want to talk about. You guys are here. You're guests of the show. There's Matthew. Hello, Matthew. Well, this can be one. He says, well, this can be wonderfully orchestrated if you leverage that information only with parties you've consented to and enforce this through smart contracts. Yeah, that's cool. I get it. That would be a great way to do that. Yeah, what do you think, Chadrick? Is that right?
No, I totally agree. If I can be sure that my information goes to who I want it to go to, and nobody else, then yeah, absolutely. This idea about smart contracts, I haven't done a ton of study on it, but I've just been reading what's been posted on forums, and I've done a few Google searches on it. But smart contract ideas are really exciting. There's a lot there.
Yeah, I just don't know. I haven't really read about it, but I don't know what's really. Maybe we can talk about that. What's the difference between a smart contract and a dumb contract?
You know what? I really wish we could. I wish we could invite someone on here that knew more about it than I do, for sure.
Mm-hmm. So, what do you two got? Back to that idea. What do you two want to talk about?
I mean, well, just to jump in there, when you were saying about, like we were just saying then about, smart contracts, etc., you've got to bear in mind where we're at is natural law. There's going to be a lot of things that are just going to, things work. You've got to remember that the lawyers and that, they weren't always around. We all work on an individual. This safe network is just an expression of what we live every day. Every day around us, people live this. So I think the things that that can get bogged down in trying to, how we're going to do this, it will come. This is where we're at. These things will come. I think it's just important, like you said. I'm more excited about this, about the 5/6 of the world who aren't privileged like us, who will have the information. That's going to be the exciting thing. Not us in our little Western world. It's going to be the other world. And it's going to be the information they're going to be able to gather. We sit here and we're worrying about our information being shown and shared. I know, there's people in this world who don't even have that information. And they're just dying to, find something where they connect. And I think this is so important that we've got to remember these people. We've got to remember that this is for everybody. It's not just for some geeky alliance of coders and people on this. It's for everybody. And that's the great thing about it. This is the revolutionary point. It's the 99, not the 0.1.
That's right. That's right. I couldn't agree with you more. It is for everybody. And one of the things that motivated me to go in this direction and start to have the Safe Cafe was we needed to reach out in what I call a middle brow way, meaning it's okay for us and we should have intellectual conversations and that sort of thing, or anything we want to talk about. But I agree with you, Tim. We need to reach out to everybody in the world and tell them, tell our friends about their natural rights. That would be the first thing I would recommend. And say, we got a way to get them back. Go ahead, Chadrick.
Yep. So just recently, I don't know, it was a couple weeks ago, I watched a TED Talk. I can't pronounce this guy's name. William Kamwamba, How I Built a Windmill. If anybody on here gets a chance, look that TED Talk up and watch it. I'm downstairs and we're watching this thing, and this guy's from Africa, and I think he was 13 at the time, and he had to quit. He had to quit his education. He had to quit school so that he could work on the farm, and because basically there was nothing. They had nothing, and so he doesn't know how to read, and he finds these books, and he figures out how to build a windmill for electricity. I mean, it was awesome. He builds this windmill for electricity. He builds this windmill. He builds another windmill for water, and then after he does this, the community, you gotta watch it. But this is the kind of stuff. What's interesting is the people would come to his house to charge up their cell phones. So we have an opportunity here. I mean, it's been a lot on the forum, about just internet access and how can we, is it possible to get this out to people, and we just have so much opportunity.
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. Sometimes it's, we need to get, I like to say, we need to get our head around that, realize where we're at and what the opportunity is, and just go for it, because there's nothing that's stopping us. What were you going to say, Tim?
No, I was going to say it's so typical where we are. It's like a herd. We're the edge of the herd. We're the little ants that have finally hit the edge. When all these people jump in, and they're used to the disappointment of everything being slow and cranky and all. It's like I said before, it's like a stagecoach. It's uncomfortable. It's bouncing around. When they hit R1, and the great thing, which I'm sure most people, if they don't go and read about it more, fill your mind, is that the more people that join the network, the quicker it becomes, the stronger it becomes, the more they can advance quicker and quicker and quicker. This is a great thing, and once you tell people about this, they're going to love this, and it makes it stronger. So it's like a cyclical win-win-win, and it's like the herd. Once that herd turn, woof! How quickly did we all pick up smartphones? 10 years ago, they were nothing.
And now nobody has landlines.
Yeah, I'll give you another analogy, because I come from Hollywood. A movie makes it in 2 weeks or dies. That's it. And what I mean by that, it's word of mouth that makes a movie successful. You gotta see the movie is the most important thing one person can tell another person for a movie to be successful. And that's exactly what you're saying, Tim, is that people will experience the obvious strength, robustness, and ubiquity of the network. Frank is asking us some question as to why the network is specifically making 4 copies of data, not 3 or 5. And Chadrick or David Yamanaka, do you have a view on that? I'll ask David to write it in if he does. Chadrick, do you have any?
Yeah, I'll say what I know. I know kind of what they want to do is they want to distribute that data, and they're thinking, if they can get it across 4 continents, for sure, they've got the data. Basically, a whole continent's gonna have to be gone before that data is at risk of being lost. I know the 4 copies also. Once you lose a copy, the network is going to know right away and going to be able to request that another copy is made. So yeah, I don't know if they just decided that they needed 4. I don't know if that's set in stone. I don't know if they're gonna once they get the test nets running, if they're gonna need more or less or what. David, I don't know if you know more or not.
No, I just knew that
I'm talking.
No,
Yeah.
not me.
Uh,
I know you're talking about
yeah,
to Yamanaka. I have no idea. So, actually, Frank, that's a great question for the forum. Put that on. Find a good spot to put that on, and I bet you get a few people to chime in on that.
There's actually on the forum, they're doing a Ask Me Anything testnet 1. I think if you get on the forum, you can find that post. Let me see if I can find it real quick. Testnet 1, Ask Me Anything. You can put that post on there, and actually, I believe the whole Troon team and other people are going to be answering that over video. So that'd be perfect.
Okay, so David Yamanaka writes in, MadeSafe tests concluded the most efficient way to provide reliable redundancy was to use 4 copies spread across 4 continents. There are 16 total copies available offline. Okay, does that make sense? I don't understand.
Yeah, I
don't understand the
aware
last part about that, though. I don't know what that. But anyway, yeah. My guess is, as I've gotten a flavor of the kind of people who are working in our core development team, especially people like David and Viv and Prakash and Fraser and some of the others. I mean, I've read a few things that Niall's written, and it's clearly over my head. But they seem to be quite hell-bent, is that a right way to say that, on making sure that certain features that will ensure that the network is reliable, let's put it that way, are in place, that this is not going to be a crappy launch. In fact, I'm convinced that they will delay the beta launch until they're ready for the beta launch. I don't think they're going to compromise on that. That's my read on where they're at. So I wanted to I wanted to make sure that on this debut interactive Safe Cafe, because that's what it is. We've had one where I was the talking head, and I realized I don't want that. I never did to begin with. I couldn't figure out the technology. On this debut interactive Safe Cafe, I wanted to make sure that we announced 3 projects for the Safe Network that the 3 of us are working on essentially 3 continents, right? We're going to prove to the world and to our friends who are helping to develop the Safe Network in Montreal and San Francisco and in Troon and soon to be Washington, D.C., and hopefully one day in Tel Aviv, Israel, because Silicon Wadi here is filled with amazing people who are just amazing programmers. I wanted to announce and talk about the 3 projects that we're involved in, and obviously they're very nascent. Obviously they are what do we call, Chadrick? We call this sort of like vape. It's called, the name for this is vaporware, right?
Yep. At this point, it's ideation, and
yep.
So yeah. I mean, it's what we want it to be, and it's what we can actually, what we put the effort into, and what we make it. Yeah.
Before we move on to that and talk about, I want to just read David's follow-up. David Yamanaka's follow-up on that issue of copies. He says, Why not 5 or more copies? Because it would take up more hard drive space and efficiency would not improve significantly. The 16 copies are from data caching. The network is only required to maintain 4 live online copies. Okay, so we're cool with that. We're up to 7 viewers. I hope there's some more people showing up. If you're just chiming in, feel free to write down on the Q&A in the Q&A who you are and where you're from. I don't want a GPS location. A country will do. Okay, so we want to. Oh wait, hey, hang on a second. I want to. Okay, wait a second. I want to do something just stupid and fun. Hang on a second.
You're not going to give us mustaches or something, are you?
No, I'm not. I was going to, but I decided not to. I thought we'd refrain from that at least for a little while.
We said medium brow. We said medium brow. That's right.
Yeah, but
six more forwards.
I just wanted to say to both of you, thank you very much for being here. And we can play around a little bit from time to time and just have some fun messing around if you want to. There's an effects thing, and when I tell a stupid joke, and it doesn't go over, we can. Something like that.
I'm weak.
All right, now I'm getting ready to announce these 3 amazing apps. Ready? That was 3 drum rolls. Some of you,
we're gonna have a lot more fun than anybody watching it. It's great.
I know that. I know. Okay, let me get back to reality here. The 3 apps. I'm going to start off sort of with my brainchild, and then I'm going to ask Tim to talk about actually something that came out of me, but it's not really me. It's more him. And what I mean by that, I never would have come up with this thing, and he was already thinking along these lines. I just think I was only the first to articulate it, but it never would have happened had I not met Tim. And then, but let's start with Chadrick, because Chadrick, the project that is the most ideated, I'm sure, is your project, one where you have been working on it for years in a way, but you weren't able to get it off the ground because this part of the solution, I'm talking about the safe network, didn't exist. Go ahead.
Sure. So it was really, I don't know, it was about 2 years ago. I was working on a side project. Many developers have side projects, all the time, and I was working on something, and it was just taking a long time. It was a lot of fun. I had a lot of people using it and whatnot, but it was not coming along as fast as I'd like it to come along. And so I was talking to a buddy of mine, and I said, I wish there was a way that it was easy for me to open up some of the development pieces of this, and then eventually share the profits of what we contributed into in a way that's equitable to everyone that put in their time and effort. And I thought about doing, kind of the whole idea of, open source software without, with still being closed source, and then light bulbs went off in my head. This was years before, MadeSafe, that I even knew about it. And I started down that road. Once I got that thought in my head, I really started ideating on it, and started talking to my friends, asking them what they thought of that idea. Could this work? What would be the ramifications? Would you get involved? Would you contribute if we were building this specific project that I was working on? Would you be involved? Would you want to be involved? It was the idea of a startup, right? And they liked that idea of doing that, and a couple guys were willing to put in some time and effort. And then I thought, holy cow, why not build a business around that where anybody could build any kind of project, and the effort that they put in will be what they get out of it. I hope I'm being clear. It might not be, so bear with me. So I started working on this for a while and built up a couple proof of concept applications, and they didn't go real far. Then I ended up here in Grand Rapids. We have a program called Start Garden. It's a venture capital project done by Rick DeVos, and he is the grandson of the guy that created Amway. And so I took it to him, and I took it to his team, and I was like, what do you think? What am I missing? What works? What doesn't work? They really liked it. They were like I was. They were concerned about the red tape and all the legality of if you're going to be sharing stake in a company, which was what we were creating. All these small companies. What does that look like? What does all that red tape have to do with it? And they set me up with one of the lawyers there, and we sat down for quite a while. And after that conversation, the lawyer was actually, he thought we could do something with it, but I'm a libertarian at heart, and I hate red tape, and I hate if somebody tells me that I have to do something. More than likely, I'm not gonna. And so go ahead, yeah.
No, I was gonna say, so viewers and Tim and I, what we need to get our head around is that you're saying that when the safe network showed up, you didn't have to deal with any of that bullshit.
Yeah. So I shelved this thing, and I said, you know what, I might come back to it someday when I don't have to deal with all this red tape. Well, then, as I was reading that paragraph underneath the developer page, that by introducing Safe Network's very own cryptocurrency, that whole idea that we have this new business model. When I saw that, it was just like, duh. If we can do this, because I was going to have to deal with things. I didn't just want the U.S. people to be involved with these things. I wanted everyone. I wanted everyone in the world to be able to be involved in these projects. And what does that look like? I mean, holy cow!
And you didn't want the red tape, and you didn't want the obstacles to that.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, so then yeah, once I heard about that new business model, I was like, this is it. I can pull it off the shelf. I had been on madesafe.org for a while, and well, actually it wasn't that long, and I just posted my idea because I thought, okay, this is, if this is going to work, it's going to have to be open, and it's going to have to be a community thing. And I changed my. So what I was originally trying to do is I was creating an institution, right? I was creating a business, and what I found out is that this cannot be a business. This is really an infrastructure. It's an infrastructure to facilitate. It's an infrastructure to facilitate the opportunity for us to build in this open and free way and be rewarded.
Right.
That's what it is, and it's when when I got that, I still fall back into that institutional mindset. I still fall back into that every once in a while, as you know, David.
Yeah, we all inherit that. Once you talk about how that is, and then keep going after you talk about that, and tell people what BuildItHub is as a meta application. So go ahead.
Yep. So what the idea? Any startup, any person that works on a startup will tell you. And I am just a entrepreneur, not an entrepreneur. But anybody that is working with a startup, spending so much time and energy and effort in building something, it's, if you don't do it, nobody's going to do it. And so you get this mindset that, oh man, I have to do it all. And
bad idea.
It's failure. It's automatic failure, because you're going to burn out. Right. You're going to get depressed. You're going, all of that.
Why is, I want you to stop for a second and tell me your theory about why that is, because I'm gonna after you do.
Okay. I don't know if I want you following up on what I say, because I'm not going to.
All right, let me get you off the hook. You know why that's failure? I'm going to tell you why. It's a simple idea, and anybody can disagree with me, but the basic notion is that as human beings, we've been created as incomplete skill sets. We need each other. What works in the naturalistic system is interdependency, where people retain their own individuality, but they work in community to sort it out. It's like I say, I'm interested in number one first, so I can be interested in number two. If I don't look out for me, then I'm in no position to look out for you. So but if all I do is look out for me, then that's a dead end, and that's what failure is in the real world, because of all the obstacles to people being able to voluntarily associate without third parties interfering in that process. We're set up for that, where we have to be like Atlas and carry the entire world on our shoulders. But you don't have to do that anymore. I don't have to do that anymore. And what we need is, for our projects, is a wise crowd. We need people that are different than us. We need people that have certain skill sets. And then when we get together,
I mean, you want somebody that is going to disagree with you at times. Because we're dumb. We are those monkeys,
Well, we're also conditioned. We're, from the day we're born, we're conditioned to be passive, not to question. If you're using the analogy, that's full intelligence. So the first ant goes to the sugar cube, and because he's got the system behind him, he can force everybody to go to that sugar cube. Now we're at the point of going, wait a minute, like in nature, we can decide where we want to go. And that's where the great thing is, what we're doing isn't against, like David was saying, isn't against nature. It's what nature does. And this is where this is the beauty of the system. It's built on, like David was saying, on what is seen around us, rather than going, no, I want what I want. I will force myself against what is around me, which is where we live now. Which is why it's hard for Cedric to start a business or do where he comes from, because we're all fed up of being bossed around by people who shouldn't be bossing us around. We're all the same, aren't we?
Yeah.
We're all the same thing. And that's what's great about this network. It gives us all the opportunity to say, we haven't got to carry the load, we can share the load.
Yep. We all desire that autonomy. I want to be able to steer my own life. I want to be able to, I want to be able to determine, what projects do I want to work on, what team do I want to work with, who do I want to be working with day in, day out, and I don't want to be limited either by just one project. If I'm a specialist in something, I want to be able to share that specialty in a multitude of projects. And why should I be exclusive? Why should I be forced to be exclusive to just one.
Exactly. Why should you be put in a box? You're a free man.
And you're both saying something that I wanna follow up with a question. And Chadrick, I want you to answer this question. Are there structures that facilitate that autonomy?
Yeah, see, that's
for the safe network, rather than the safe network being this chaotic place without any structure.
Yeah, and like I say, that's why I'm saying I believe what, in my mind, the Build It Hub could be used to create an infrastructure that would facilitate this. We've got a lot of ideas. I mean, I've got a ton of ideas on stuff that we've talked about. How do we handle autonomy? How do we handle, how do we value things? How do we value things? And what's nice is we're not absolute pioneers in this at all. There's other people doing this. I mean, you've got Sensorica, I mean, they're doing open value networks. You've got I mean, it's happening already. And so actually, is Francis still on here? Because I want to shout out Francis. I want to shout out you.
Still out here?
I want to get a hold of you because you're in Montreal there, and Sensorica and the P2P network folks are out there. I want to get in contact with them, and I want to. This is not an institution. This is something that facilitates us opening everything up. I want to challenge. I just want to put a challenge out there that people that are working on stuff, people that are working on apps that are example apps or whatever that we're going to be creating. Let's let everybody be involved. I don't care if we use Build It Hub. I don't care what we do. But if we make something that facilitates this, let's open it up for everybody. Let's learn from everybody. And I'm not talking about just sharing code. I'm talking about let's pair up. Let's pair up as programmers. Let's learn what this does. Let's make some videos. How to develop some of these things. I'll get off my soapbox now.
So Matthew writes in the 2.0 space. I assume he means by that today. There are many tools in development which will facilitate these incentivized behaviors. Francis says, yes, I'm still here. I want to hang out with Chadrick soon. So, awesome. You guys are both on Google. Hang out and start getting it going. Perfect. Yeah, there is stuff out there, Matthew. We've discovered Sensorica up by Francis in Montreal, Canada. I don't know if they're in Montreal or not. Are they up in Montreal or are they in Toronto? I can't remember.
No, I believe they're right there.
But anyway, what we've learned about is this structure called the Open Value Network with an associated value accounting system, which is a way to account for value that people create or add to the Open Value Network, or for and in behalf of the Open Value Network for the Open Value Network's customers and the people that particular OVN serves. And I don't know about anybody else, but I'm an absolute fan of this idea, and will be continuing to advocate and evangelize for the Open Value Network. I consider the Open Value Network to be really, in a sense, how the safe network is structured in and of itself, and I see that structure as being very, how should I say, nodally congruent with the safe network, and if that makes sense. So I'm a real big believer in BuildItHub. I think that BuildItHub as a meta app for building applications on the Safe network, a place for people to self-aggregate to find projects that they want to work on. And because of the SafeCoin aspect of the network, where applications have a wallet coded into that, it's very easy to imagine, and I'm not a coder, but I can imagine it's not that big a deal for SafeCoin that is deposited in a particular application's wallet is then redeposited in real time into builders and contributors of value to that particular project according to the actual created value and the percentages that created value represent. Does that make sense, what I just said, Chadrick?
Yeah, absolutely. And I just want to mention a couple things. You know, there some of the ideas that we have about, you know, consensus and how this is all going to work and how valuation is going to work. We're going to be talking about this quite a bit. We have a new David, the MadeSafe.org admin, has gracefully allowed us to have our own category. It doesn't show up on the homepage of MadeSafe.org, but it does show up under projects. And over the next days, weeks, we're going to be just really ideating over that. Right now, you have to ask to be a part of that group to actually do posts on there. And honestly, we wanted to have it that way, just so we get people that are sincere and really want to help in some way, want to contribute in some way. Mm-hmm. I think that's going to end up being opened up, because I think that's maybe too much to ask of David and Paige to handle continuously adding people. And we just didn't want to create a bunch of noise on the homepage. That was one thing I didn't want to do. I wanted to make sure that we could do that without creating a bunch of noise. So if you're interested, go ahead, Dave. Sorry.
No, I was going to say, yeah, keep going with that thought.
No,
So if you're interested.
Yeah, if you're interested, get a hold of me, send me a private message on there, and I'll get you added, and we can start discussing a lot of this stuff.
Yeah,
you know, we've got a lot of documents written. We've got a lot of thoughts. We really need to get it out, because again, we're only two people. We're the dumb monkeys, and we need other people. We need a wise crowd. We need other people involved.
Yeah, and I guess I just want to follow up on that idea, because, you know, it's going to take people. It's going to take more than just a few people, and now's the time when, I mean, this is an undiscovered country. The people that get involved in this now are going to be the you know, just the opportunity is extraordinary on so many levels. So many levels of what's in it for you, but then again, on so many levels, what's in it for us and other people in terms of contribution. So I know that many people, especially people who are in open source, are people who are motivated by other things than money. But, you know, I have to say that I have that streak too, but, you know, the fact that I can actually make a fortune isn't a small idea to me. I'm not ashamed of my understanding of what I have a hold of in terms of what this will do for me personally in terms of my economic well-being. SafeCoin, I am, you know, like 1,000% convinced will become extraordinarily valuable someday. Which brings us to our second project. Thank you for sharing about BuildItHub. I want to talk a little bit about the next project, which was really my brainchild, and that's the project called SAFEx. Now, when I say my brainchild, I'm sure other people are thinking about this. You know, the thing about the Safe Network is that it's so infinite that you could have 10 BuildIt hubs or 10 SafeX applications and not exhaust anything. It's just unbelievable to think about it. But what SafeX is a way to, when the day comes that SafeCoin is a valuable thing and that people have accumulated wealth in SafeCoin on the Safe Network, having used it to trade for whatever they have wanted to trade or buy and sell on the Safe Network, they will probably, not probably, absolutely, definitely want to be able to exchange SafeCoin for perhaps another altcoin like Bitcoin, or perhaps fiat currency like the US dollar or the British pound or the euro. And SafeX is really just, in concept, a very simple idea. It's a money changer. And I personally believe it will become not only very successful, but I'm sure in the future it will be something that helps to set price in the marketplace, like a foreign exchange. But that wasn't really my original intention, although I think it will become that anyway. My original intention was to be able to enable people that were inside the SafeCoin economy as an alternate economy doing well, and they will do well because this is going to, I mean, you know, Facebook and Twitter have populations of, 500 million, 700 million people, 800 million people, going on a billion. We don't need that many for the SafeCoin economy to thrive. So that's what SafeX is about, and it's probably far less ideated than even BuildItHub, but I'm committed to it, and we're looking for a wise crowd there. Personally, I believe that that particular project will take many more people than BuildItHub to turn it into what it will be turned into. But what we need to get our head around, I keep using that phrase because the truth is that the Safe Network changes the rules of the game. In the past, in the real world, when you wanted to think about a business, there were lawyers to hire, there was space to rent, there was all kinds of things that were both legalistic and bricks and mortar that costed things. For example, even if you were just creating applications, you needed a server. Google server farms are huge. They're vast buildings with lots of, not just Google, any of them, Apple, any of the big tier. I call it tier 2. Data management firms in some form or another, they're making huge investments in infrastructure. So it was always a big financing gig. You had to go to Wall Street. You had to come up with a plan that venture capital would buy into, and I'm not poo-pooing any of that. I'm just telling you the rules of the game have changed. It doesn't cost you money up front on the Safe Network. I know that's hard to get your head around, but it doesn't. It actually really, no kidding, doesn't. What it does cost you is time and effort and brain power, and that with just that, you can deploy a working application on the Safe Network and earn SafeCoin. I challenge anybody to take issue with what I just said, and I mean that sincerely, because if my understanding isn't correct, I want to be corrected. But I've looked at it, and I'm at this point very convinced of what I'm telling you, because we're just seizing the day. We're just doing what we're doing to get our privacy, security, and freedom back. We're not asking anyone's permission. And, people can take issue with me, but I don't care what the rules are. If I cared what the rules were, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. If I cared what other people thought or governments thought or other third parties thought, I wouldn't be doing what I'm doing. It wouldn't make any sense to me to do what I'm doing. So, people have to decide what they're up to. But what I'm up to is fomenting revolution. The 99% revolution is about taking back your freedom. It's about understanding that you as a human being are sovereign, that you are not owned, you own yourself. And you don't need anyone's permission to own yourself. You don't need anyone's permission to exercise your natural rights. Those are yours. Nobody has any right to violate those natural rights. Nobody has any right to tell you what you can do. So I'm excited about the Safe Network because it does make it possible to assemble a wise crowd together, and that wise crowd together can create killer apps without going out and buying servers and renting space and hiring lawyers. That's all cool to me because when you get done and you deploy your intellectual effort, which is not your personal property, but the property of the Commonwealth of the Open Value Network that you belong to, whatever value you created, whatever value you added to that project, well, you're gonna get an income stream in SafeCoin for that. Now that's amazing to me. That is revolutionary, and that why does that operationalize the 99% revolution? Because you don't have to be threatened with starvation anymore by the brutes and thugs of the world, the authoritarians of the world that want to make you kowtow to their silly-ass rules. And if anybody doesn't like my opinion in the matter or think that I'm too radical, I don't know what you're doing on this broadcast. Honestly.
You're way too radical, David. You're way too radical.
So that's my view of where we're at, guys. Oh look, nobody's hung up. They're still here. Wait a second. Hold on. We need some effects for that, don't we? Here's the chime, David. Oh wait, that's the doorbell. Who's there? No, this one here. Okay.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
All right. So that was my soapbox. And I'm inviting everybody to get on here and get mad as hell and not take it anymore. I love that video you put up there on the forum of that speech by Albert Finney in Network. It was just amazing. No, Albert Finch. I'm sorry. I think that was his name.
Yeah.
So anyway, we're gonna rock and roll, and we're gonna change the world. I believe that I'm changing the world. I believe that since that is true, anybody can change the world. There's a sixth person on. Who's ever signed on, who hasn't yet written in and told us where you're from, in what part of the world, that would be cool. You don't have to pinpoint it; just a country will do. And which brings us to the third application that I've named Network 99. And I'm going to put Tim on the spot because he's our creative guy to talk a little bit about why that's a cool idea, what it is, and why is it cool.
Okay. Well, as I have been saying, I am not a coder, so this is just an idea that I've had fomented in my head, well, for as long as I can. Now, I come to it from, I think the best way to explain this is kind of, I can speak for myself, and I know it's a lot of what my contemporaries would say. So if you feel like I do, say, I'll give you my story. I was 16. I feel like I do. I ride against the world. I saw in my part of the world we had strikes going on. We had 3-day weeks. We had literally, community against community, and I ride against it. But I had nothing. And when I left school, what did I have? They pushed me into university, which is basically keep me busy, and then they chucked me out the other end, and then you're left with a job. And this is the world we all know. Blah 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 blah.
Yeah.
But I've always wanted a network of basic people because the people like me, all we want to do is produce what we do. We're not in it for money. I mean, the the rappers of the world, they want to sit, or whatever, certain centuries, they want to sit and make money. Most people I know, we don't want to make money. All we want to do is get paid for the resources we do. So now we're left in a world like we are. So I know, for instance, like myself, I do all my day making resources, one way of painting, whether it's doing, even on Twitter, Facebook, I do all the work for them. I do all their work for Twitter, I do all the work for Facebook and get nothing in return for it. I sit there, I transmit stuff, I'm doing their editing, I'm doing all their advertising and get nothing for this resource. Now to me, that's slavery. I don't like being a slave. So
Right.
when I came across this safe network, and I kind of get in my head, as I am daily and hourly, around what this is all about, it's an opportunity for people like myself to come in where we can produce and put it out onto a network. Now, if you take the example of the ants, which is like how I write everything out. This is how I write my life, in nodes.
Wow, that's cool.
So that's my
Hey,
99 network, man. That's it there.
Okay, look, do me a favor and take a real picture of that
I
and
will
send
do.
me a JPG, okay?
Actually, take a picture of that and post it on the
Oh yeah.
on the forum. I want to see that.
But the idea is somewhere where I think a lot of where we are in the world now is we're left with a lot of the creative people in the world are left out, and we're left out for the reasons I've just given you. And the safe network through this gives us the opportunity, which is I was saying, through vaults. So the idea is, I understand it, and hey, pleased to speak, I'm a Londoner and I'm a creative person. It's late in the morning, so please excuse my metaphor. But they're like vaults. They're little areas where we can create a network where the artist, so instead of like in the moment where he's getting maybe 10%, 5%, lucky 30%, gets 99% of what they make. So they can put stuff, it's like a new channel, it's basically like the YouTube. It's like the new network of things. And on this network, I want to have everything. I want to cover everything. I want to cover bands, I want to cover music, I want to cover live events, sports, everything. It's a new way. And what happens is we'll store the information. And again, from what I understand it is, one of the beauties of the the network is, everything at the moment, if I go onto Netflix and they have their new series out, everybody charges onto it. Then the whole server crashes because they're replicating new copies to everybody. So there's your new version of House of Cards. There's your new version of Orange New Black. And you're all having individual ones. It's the metaphor I say of like, we've all gone to the cinema like we always used to do. There's the film. We used to go in. We all pay and watch the same thing. Now we all go in, and the new business model is they put glasses on us and say, "There's the individual film and the glasses." Now, this is where the safe network goes back to the cinema idea. We don't have to replicate everything. We can have one time, which means me, the artist, I can get paid for everything I do, rather than having it replicated and copied around the world. And for me, I don't care. I don't care if my stuff's given around the world. I don't care. But it's the opportunity, which I know this whole network can open up to, is people. It's the opportunity for people to express this in the real world. Now, I think this is where the great connection is, and you'll see on this picture, this is where all the connection is. It's perfect because I think it will work perfectly what David's doing with his SafeX, because the artist wants, in the real world where I live in now, they want to go down to the shop. And right now, I can't go down to a shop and pay with SafeCoin, but I can go and pay with my pound, the Scottish pound, if it's still around 5 months' time. And I went to the euro. Jeez. But the SafeX gives the opportunity for that, where that's what I'm saying, Chadrick's project works, because we need to build these networks so it becomes easier and easier and easier. And that's what I like about, like David was saying, the 99 network, because it's everybody. And we can make the world where, so like I'm just the average man. I don't like watching things and getting adverts thrown at me. I don't like watching things being slow and jerky. And it's going to get to the point with net neutrality where I won't even be able to watch these things, because I'm going to be forced to watch some crap that they feed me, which I've fed all my life to, and they're going to say, right, if you want to watch that, find it, good luck to you, and then they're going to be lost. But this is the new world, so we can offer. This is why I think I'm really excited, because I think there's a lot of people. I know a lot of the community that are around all love Bill Hicks as a comedian. Man, if he had been alive today, he would have loved this. a network for him to go out live to the world and preach. Man, this is where we can step out to these people. Now I need the help of people like Chadwick, because I don't know how to code. I need the people like David, because he's, this is where we can collect all this knowledge. I need the help of like the Swarm. And I'm hoping by saying this, I'm putting the call out in here and saying, hey, I'm the first artist, I'm the first creative here, come and help me. Help me, please.
Right.
That's my call. Because I just see it as like, I don't know, this is the rant that's going to kill all rants. You think David's going to kill it off? I'll kill it off. I think we're living in the greatest times. I think this is the greatest time of all of humanity. I think the whole of humanity has led us to this point. Everything. And I've said,
You're right.
I said this to them before. And everything's coming here. And right now, everything you look around, all the systems are in collapse. The evidence comes from everywhere. It's Bitcoin. It's the whole collapse, economy collapsing. It's people. It's everything. Every direction you're seeing it. And here we stand. We're here. And but to achieve this free society we want, we've got to have, I don't know, courage. We've got to have the courage to think, to speak, to act, to be, it's easy to do nothing. And that was the trouble with my generation. We stood back and we did nothing. And it all slipped away. And now we can't do nothing. And we're just lucky because we're standing at the edge. And David said it's a new world. It's not a new world. This is something with the whole new universe. And we're standing at the edge. We're standing at the edge of it. And all we know is that the future's unwritten, and we can go out and create the future. And it's down to us. But I can't do it. David can't do it, and even Chadwick, even how great our minds are, we can't do it alone. We need the world. And call out to the world. World, come and help us. We're here. The new world is here. Come and help us. Come and join us and escape the freedom. Come and join us. Come and join us.
Wow. That's excellent. Yeah. Go, man. You go. That's awesome. This is exactly what I mean. This is like so cool. This is even way better than I thought this would be. Thank you so much for that. Because Network 99 in a nutshell. Because I came up with the name because of the 99% revolution, and then my thinking took me to the point of, now get your head around this, people. An artist who donates a copy of his work, whether that's a film, a musical number, whatever, that works in the digital space. I don't know. You better come up. You better talk to some painters and think about how that can work for painters. Because I don't.
Hey, just so you guys know, there's been a lot of talk about art on the forum as well. I know Russell's been involved a ton in that discussion. I'm not sure who else, but I know Russell has been. You really got to have him on here because I think he could really share a lot about that.
I'm hoping to speak to Ben, who's got connections with MadeSafe. He's from Belgium. And
Ben Boland.
Yeah, and I think the best way we can do this, and I think it would be a win-win. Well, like you said, how are we going to do it for an artist? I thought about it today, and I had a bit of almost like an epiphany as David. I've got that word from him. It's an earworm I got from David. Epiphany. He keeps using the word epiphany every time I talk to him, so it's now in my head like an earworm.
That's because I have so many of them lately.
But I was having an epiphany that maybe the best way for someone like who does solid stuff like me and art would be, we pull fund, and we do an art gallery or an art show. We do the same with a band. We pull fund and make a gig, and we call it a bit like, I don't know, we'd be the first one on there, made the 99 network gigs, and we have it there.
Yeah.
That would be awesome. That would be awesome.
So I think
what I'm trying to say is I think we've got to find ways to put it into the real world. Put this into the real world and show people it, because that's how they're going to come.
Sure. So we need the application, and let me describe what Network 99 is. If you can imagine something that comprises the technology of this Google Hangout and YouTube and iTunes and SoundCloud, and you just had this infrastructure that you offered to the world for zero, free, absolutely free. And on the network, you had artist or band channels or live show concert channels, on-demand song channels, unlimited downloads, station channels that are like, radio stations, indie film channels by genre. Listen, I used to work in Hollywood. There's thousands and thousands and thousands of independent films that have never seen daylight in the world. And never made a nickel. These guys who did these beautiful films, and they need a way that they could make money. And the way the Network 99 works, because of the SAFE network, is that once we put this infrastructure in place, is that 99% of the revenue of SafeCoin that flows through this infrastructure will go to the artist for his work on demand by the customer. And it's as simple as that. And even the downloads from whatever kind of libraries or storage that are associated with this network by the voluntary contributions of artists who give us copies, who are now members of the Open Value Network called Network 99. So they get a share according to how people download their stuff or watch their stuff or whatever's going on. Let's say a band has a channel. Every time somebody clicks on that channel to watch the band play their music, either live or recorded, that's data flow in the network, and it pays SafeCoin to the application that gets redistributed to the wallets of all the artists. The Network 99 is going to keep 1% of the SafeCoin that flows into it, and the artists are going to get 99%. Now tell me if that's not an idea that is revolutionary. I'm just so jazzed by it, because it's not just film. It's TV shows and serials and network news, weather channels, talk shows. Like Safe Cafe would simply be just one talk show in the News Network 99. That's all it'll be in the future. How about a whistleblower channel? Hey, call into this channel and tell us how these guys are doing this evil stuff. I mean, Sports Network 99, team channels by sport, match report channels, live match broadcasts. Dawn Layton should have been here tonight. She had to go to work. But she came up with the idea of Knowledge Network 99, course channels, subject channels, library channels. And there's more to this. I mean, it's just there's no end to what this could be. This is just it just blows my mind. I
want to give a call out to all the. Whoever's watching now, they know somebody and who's got a band. They know somebody who's creative in any way, and ask them and say to them, look, instead of you getting 14,000 views, I work for a band. I work with a band, local lads from England. Now they're getting maybe 15,000 views on YouTube. They're not making any money for it. So what do I say to them? Same what I would ask you to say to all your friends. Go out and tell everybody. They can make the money.
Right.
They can make the money. They get paid for what they're making. And isn't that fair? Isn't that fair? Isn't that what we all want? Yes, it is.
Yes, it's what we all want. And I think that this is the genius that David Irvine possessed himself personally, but then went ahead and developed the technology that made it possible. I've had a theory for a long time that people sometimes are like water. They fill the container, the shape of the container. And if you created a system where justice and equality and freedom were by design a part of that system, then people would, with all their flaws, with all their character defects, with all their limitations, with all their stupidity, would still end up being like decent folks, because they'd show up and they'd see how it works and they'd find out, oh, being honest and good and decent pays me right. you know, and we had a question, and I want to say, Frank, bring your question about dishonesty on the nodes to the forum. There's a lot of good stuff about, like, if somebody's trying to game the system, and David's handled it, and the technology's there to handle that kind of crap. But the forum is the place to understand how that kind of stuff works. We got some other stuff here. David says, Frank, I think you're asking if a farmer can game the system by uploading a file and repeatedly calling it. The short answer is no. The vaults, the node locations signed by the network, a farmer does not get to choose the node address. Also, an uploader cannot choose where the file is stored. A farmer would have to control both of these variables. Mm-hmm. And he's right. Matthew says, BuildItHub is brilliant, Tim.
Yeah, man.
So those are the 3 projects that we're involved in, and we invite anybody to come on the show and talk about their projects. We want people to own the Safe Cafe the same way they own the Safe Network. It belongs to nobody and everybody all at once. And we're just excited to be here. We think that we're really on to something, and I want to, before I conclude this broadcast, I'm making a decision that basically we are going to go an hour and a half, and we're going to say goodbye, because like the Safe Network, we could sit here all night over and over. I mean, I'm not exhausted at all. I feel like we just got started. So we have to...
Well, you just got up.
Yeah, I just got up, right. And you're going to bed. What is it there, about 11:30?
Yeah, 11:30, yep.
Yeah, so what I'm trying to say is what we want to do is do this frequently. So this isn't going to be a one-time thing. We're going to get into a groove. I don't have it all worked out, but, you know, basically I want to do this often, okay? And that means definitely more than once a week, and probably twice a week. Probably more than twice a week. I'm not sure what it's going to turn out to be yet, but I think it has to do with a certain amount of interest that we get. Oh, Jacob Roy. Hi, Jacob. He's from Montreal pod. He says, while we're speaking about projects, me and the other guys at the Montreal pod are working on a browser extension to see web pages hosted on the Safe Network.
I saw that today. I'm excited about that. You guys are awesome.
Wait, hold on. I got to get some. Hold on here. Hold on. Yeah, baby. You guys go. You guys rock. I'm just too excited by all the good stuff I'm seeing happening already in the pods in San Francisco and Montreal. So hats off to Paige, hats off to Francis and both their teams. Don't know any details yet about the Washington Safe Pod. I do know, with the exception that I do know that it's going to probably start in the early fall. And in ending this broadcast on our debut interactive broadcast, I just want to take a moment to speak from the heart my personal gratitude, and I'm sure I'm speaking for everybody about when I say thank you to David Irvine and the team in Troon, who are, without you know what you guys are doing, without what you've done, we would have no right to be this excited about reclaiming our privacy, getting our freedom, and having security in our business and personal transactions. I can't even put into words how grateful I am to you guys for what you've done. Knowing you, you'd probably say no thanks required, but still, I'm overjoyed by my limited association with you guys so far. I'm sure we'll get to know each other more as the years roll by. But thanks a lot to everybody for tuning in tonight.
Can I just before you go,
sure.
say if anyone wants to contact me, I'm on WeAdvance on Twitter. WeAdvance Leads on Twitter. please
So
contact
spell it
me.
out.
Can you spell that, Tim?
Spell that out. Spell that out.
Actually, you know what? Post it on the forum as well.
But it's
Yeah,
We Advance, all one word, Leeds, Leeds, as in the city of Leeds.
Okay. We Advance Leads.
Twitter, yeah. Contact me, please.
Great. Good deal. And
follow David Lasoff, and I'm sure Chadrick's got a Twitter account as well.
sure. Definitely. Let's see. Let's see. Hold on a second. Let me see if there's anything here before we have anything to go. Okay. So Matthew and Jacob, get a hold of each other. They're talking about the news that Jacob and his team are working on that browser. Yeah, so this is what this is all about, connecting. This is what it's all about, is just the social connections that we should. Yeah, go ahead. Sure.
Can I just say that me and David discussed that obviously because we're different sides of the world, we're going to make this alternate. So for people watching in Europe, the next show will be on European time, then we'll go back to American. I just want to put that in because I know a lot of people may watch this on YouTube and wonder how they're in Europe, how they can contact the, So the next one will be more of a European time. We'll post it and just to put that show
Excellent.
out.
Yeah. Excellent. Thank you for making that known. Tim, how do you feel about your British Standard Time Sunday night about 7 o'clock? Is that a good time?
Yeah, I can do 7 o'clock. Yeah, 7 o'clock on Sunday, my time. Yeah, that's cool.
All right, so I'm going to post that. Safe Cafe number 3. It's official. Will be. It'll be. Let's see. Hang on a second. So it'll be 9 o'clock my time. Okay.
We really need to just switch to GMT, and that's it.
Yeah,
that's it.
Well, it doesn't work that way. See, you have to think about it because Google Plus will tell you what time in your time zone you have to be there. I'll post it for my time because I host the show, and it'll show up. It'll go to your time in Europe. It'll go to your time in America, and you'll probably be sleeping, Chadrick, I guess. But we're going to finish here. We've run over a couple minutes. I just want to say this before we hang up. If you want to be on the Safe Cafe, and the only qualification is that you're sold on MadeSafe. This is not a forum for debate about the merits of the system. If you've got those kinds of, what I mean, you can bring up questions where you're not quite sure about MadeSafe or the Safe Network, and by viewing the program live and texting in your questions. But if you want to appear on the show, I want to talk to people that get it, and I want to know why you get it and what you're up to, and what you can do, and who you need to connect to. If you've got a project that you want to talk about that you're building for the Safe Network, come on the show, or whatever you're doing. Yeah, go ahead.
I'd like to say, maybe there's an opportunity on the forum that we could actually request that you have certain people that so we can reach out to them somehow and get them in touch with you and somehow make those connections, because there's a lot of people on that forum that I would really like to see on here.
Yes.
I do. I'm not kidding either. I get it too. It's just there's a lot of people there. In fact, I would say the majority of who should be on this show would come from there. I don't want to make that exclusive, though.
Right.
So you don't have to be a technical person to be on this show.
Because I'm not
right, Tim?
Exactly, man.
Right.
I'm just glad that I went first and you guys went last, because I would hate to have followed you guys. That's the way that works.
Okay, so this is it from the Startup Nation, Israel. This is David Lasoff saying thank you for attending the Safe Cafe. You can follow me on Twitter @David Lasoff, and I'm gonna go for another 20 seconds or so and make an appeal to everybody to call the thing the Safe Network. Don't use shortened monikers like SafeNet. And the reason why I'm saying that's a bad idea is because there is a huge corporation in America called SafeNet that has a long public reputation, and we don't want to be confused with them because we are not affiliated with that company in any way, shape, or form. The technology is the Safe Network, and it stands for secure access for everyone. So I look forward to seeing and hearing from you on Safe Cafe number 3, and we're gonna, like I said, we're gonna do this regularly. So if you miss a show, no big deal. Go to YouTube. This broadcast will go after a few minutes. They'll process it. It'll just automatically show up on my YouTube channel. So you can just go to YouTube and click David Lasoff, and you'll see my channel. And I advise you to subscribe to my channel because that's where the Safe Cafe is going to show up. And you can, of course, you already understand. You can send this to your friends who weren't able to be here tonight. And the whole idea about this is to get the word out. So everybody tonight who was a talking head, Tim, me, and Chadrick, were making appeals. Get involved in our projects. Get involved in telling other people about the Safe Network. Become in your own way, a Safe Network evangelist, and let other people know about this beautiful thing that's coming. And we'll see you on the next broadcast. You guys don't go anywhere yet. I'm going to stop the broadcast. I want to talk to you for a second. Okay. See you next time. Bye-bye.
Bye.